This super energy efficient passive house leisure centre cost £44 million and only opened in April last year. But from the end of this month, the creche is going to close. Hundreds of people have signed a petition calling for it to stay open, with some threatening to either cancel their membership or not join at all if it's closed.
So it's been really useful. It means that I can go have a swim. I know she's really well looked after. If she was upset, they'd come find me. The staff were brilliant. They offered loads of advice for me, and it just meant that I could get back into the routine of exercising after birth, which is something that I don't think I could do without it.
I have some friends who've talked about it, that they were quite excited. So my baby's quite small at the moment, so I haven't used it yet, but we were kind of saying in the future when she's a bit bigger, and then some of them were saying, they would be interested in using it as well. So I think it's a shame.
But in response, Exeter City Council says it has to make almost £9 million of savings following cuts in government funding. They say if it stayed open, they'd have to charge £45 a session to keep it running. And they say that's simply not practical. And also, none of the leisure centres in Exeter at the moment make any profit. They all run at a loss. And unless they take action, then more services could be cut.
We're quite close to St Sidwell's here on Paris Street, and we've had so many people, they pop in on their way out from going there, on their way to there, loads of people talking about how wonderful, what a brilliant resource it was, like sharing the love of the creche and how brilliant it was. And people are just gutted because it's a really amazing resource for families in the city. It's meant that people who don't necessarily have anyone to look after their little one can get some exercise, which is good for their physical health, it's good for their mental health, and it's good for just that kind of forming habits. People are sort of thinking, when they're a little bit older, I'm going to start taking them swimming. And there was just a real kind of buzz around St Sidwell's Point and, how brilliant a resource it was. And the creche was part of that, It meant that families with little tiny people can still access those facilities. And the fact that it's closing is just a real blow for lots and lots of people.